All right, good evening, everybody. First of all, thank you very much for your support this week in our return to Brazil with UFC 283. The attendance tonight was 13,604. The bonuses, fight of the night goes to Hill and Glover. The performance bonuses go to Ishmael Bonfin and Shelton Almeida. Any questions I can answer?
I'm curious what you think you made of the night itself, right? Okay, so maybe some of the results didn't go Brazil's way, but we still had a celebration of Jose Aldo, Glover Teixeira and Shogun retired, and then we had these new up-and-comers. How would you rate tonight as a celebration for Brazil's return on the MMA stage post-COVID?
Yeah, it was pretty solid. It was pretty solid all right. I mean, first of all, nice to return. I'm not sure if you guys were able to catch the kind of 2.5-minute open that was on the prelims. We had it running in the U.S. We had it in our global feed. We had it running on the Brazil feed as well, and I think that kind of encapsulated, how we feel, the UFC feel. I think that piece was driven by Mike Ricci and Zach, and then Eduardo and Fernando from the Brazil team, and it was something where captured the importance of mixed martial arts to the Brazilian people, and I think a lot of that was reflected in the athletic performances tonight. I mean, we had 17 Brazilians. Is that right?
Yeah.
17 Brazilians, I think 9 won. Obviously, there were 2 bouts on the prelims where 2 Brazilians were fighting each other. But yeah, the Aldo ceremony was nice. It's too bad that Shogun didn't get the win to go out, but he certainly got a sense for how much he meant to everyone here in this building. And I'm sure as we're going to see through all the media outlets over the next few weeks, the importance is going to shine through in the articles that people are going to be writing. So it felt really, really good.
Cool. Just one last one from me. I'm curious. I'm sure there isn't one right now, but any estimation on a return and when we could expect to be back?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the schedule for the second half of the year. We want to be back here at least one more time. We want to get back to pre-COVID levels as quickly as we can. So no exact date or time, but especially with the launch of UFC Fight Pass here in Brazil, it's important for us to be in the market as frequently as possible.
I want to know, do you have an update on Davidson Figueiredo's eye?
I don't. We had a number of transports. There's some violence tonight. But yeah, nothing specifically on him.
And Mano Olive mentioned that was some kind of altercation between Moreno and Pantoja backstage.
Oh, I didn't see that, but that might set something up nicely. Kenny? Sorry.
Kind of one. I don't know if you're going to disclose this, but do you have a number of Fight Pass subscriptions in Brazil? You guys did a special price in the first 2 weeks of the year, so do you have a number of how many people signed up for the service?
Yeah, I mean, we know the number. It's, like we do on the global side, it's not a number that we're going to be disclosing. But I can tell you, it's been a long 3 weeks in speaking to the market and making sure we're connecting with as many people across the country to ensure people know exactly what's going on. We've seen this time and time again in switchovers, change of broadcasters, change of content distribution strategy. It takes a long time to convince people, to inform people that they need to go to a different place. People ask us all the time, why are pay-per-views always at 10 p.m. in the East in the United States? It's because it's a dedicated time. People know exactly what time. And when we do a shift, we tested it once, I think kind of like 2011 or 2012. What if we shift an hour earlier? It might be a little better for the East Coast, but a little worse for the West Coast in the U.S. And even an hour shift really had an impact on viewership. And so the point is that people are used to consuming content a specific way, and I think as we're going to experience here, it's going to take a while. We're really happy with the way things have kicked off. Technology works really well. Transmission worked really well. We thought having a localized Portuguese feed that our team is managing and our talent is managing is incredibly important for us, and I think was received really well. We're going to continue to increase the access points for Fight Pass across the country. We've got a number of partnerships that we're going to be announcing over the next couple months. It's all in an effort to, again, deliver the most fan-focused and fan-first digital product for UFC content that we've got. But the partnership with Bungie TV has worked out really, really well. I'm not sure if they're going to release their viewership numbers, but really pleased with the way things turned out for the prelim block. So we're off to a really good start.
And last time you were here in November, you said you were going to plan planning for 3 events this year in Brazil. Do you have any dates in mind, locations for the next events?
No, I mean, we talked about it earlier. We don't have any specific dates or cities to mention yet. So listen, more on that when we've got it. But, you know, like we did pre-COVID, we want to be all across the country. It's super important for us. The Bench TV deal is important for us because it allows us to connect in the way that we want to with, you know, 200+ million fans across, or, you know, population of 200 million plus and 50 million plus fans for us. In the same way that our content reaches the people all across the country, we want to have events in a variety of cities across the country like we did pre-COVID.
I know it's always kind of tough, you know, trying to keep in touch with the market back in the States as well. Is there ever a possibility for one of the future fights to have the fight earlier in the evening so Brazilians can enjoy it earlier in the evening and not ending at 3 or so in the morning?
I don't know. I get the sense for Brazilians like the time. Everything's a bit later. Dinner's later. Bars are later. MMA's later. I think it's something that people are used to as well. I mean, this is no change, right? Pay-per-views, I mean, our main cars for pay-per-views are always been around midnight here in Brazil, just depending on the time of year with daylight savings. So, I mean, yeah, it's 3:30 right now. There are 15 fights. It's a big night for everybody. But, you know, I think if it's a fight night, the change could shift or the time could shift a little bit. But for pay-per-views, it's going to stick where it is.
And last for me, I know a lot of people were wondering if Dana was going to be here. Did you speak with him tonight? And what was his initial thoughts on tonight's action?
I mean, he was pretty fired up about, you know, the quality, even chatting with Mick. Mick was chatting with Dana and Hunter just about the performance bonuses, and they were going through a bunch of different options to choose from. They were pretty pleased.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, guys. Thanks for your support all week. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys soon.